Drink it in, man. Touchdown, Detroit Lions! Cornbread! 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 Drink it in, man. Touchdown, Detroit Lions! Touchdown, Detroit Lions! Cornbread! Drink it in, drink it in, drink it in, man.
Detroit Koolaid, Detroit Koolaid drinkers. What's going on, everybody? It's your host, Derek Rooker, right here on the Detroit Koolaid Cast. You guys know what it is. Drink it in, everybody.
Drink it in, man.
Side of cornbread.
Cornbread!
Gotta make it a double.
Cornbread!
So I'm coming to you solo again this week, and here's what we're doing. You guys know the schedule dropped. You know we got to do the way too early schedule predictions. Maybe some bold takes, some W's, some L's, some ways these games are going to go down. What? 2, 3, 4, 6 months before they even occur. So we'll get into that. Right off the top, like kind of what's going on with this team. Like again, they're just barely. They had some rookie mini camps. Not a ton came out. You know, everyone, me included, loves Terrion Arnold, Gio Manu, Sione Vaki, all the different players that we got, so much more. Rake Straw is looking like a DAWG, so all that's been good. And right when you guys are hearing this, you know, we're going to have Lions, rookies, and vets going through OTAs. So I think right before I hit the old record button here, we had, the vets in the new jerseys and helmets and slinging the ball around and just great stuff to see. Again, total side item, but my boy JMO, hashtag JMOFast, was finally looking swaggy. My man almost had no sleeves. He still had like a little bit of a white sleeve tucking out, but it was at least tight. It wasn't those pajama top long sleeves he's been wearing. He had wristbands, he had a black visor, he had the swaggy mouth guard. Like, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I've been waiting for J-Mo. So everyone's calling breakout season for him. I still can't put my finger on his numbers. You know, is he going to rack up tons of crazy yardage numbers? Is he going to score a lot of touchdowns? Or is it going to be a better year than what he's done? Because if we're honest, he's only had 2 seasons with a total of 20-some catches and 3, maybe 4 touchdowns, somewhere in that range. So I'd love to see the kid really get his swag back, really get his game back to where he's a threat every week. You know, get him on some curls, get him on some digs, run some slants, get him up on a double move, like run him on a reverse. You know, really get him in the game. You know, he's still a bit of a frail frame, so you got to sort of protect him so he doesn't get injured. But you moved up to 12 to get this kid, so I really hope that they can really carve out a role for him, not just use him as a decoy running deep down the field, or hey, we threw it to him 3 times, you should be happy. Like, we need much more than that from Jameson Williams. But like I said, everything's looking good. Pictures of the players, great weather here in the state of Michigan right now for those OTAs. So, all that's going down. We'll have more and more on that. But as I often say, I mean, we can't mess around. Again, I'm doing a solo show, so we'll see if we get some drops here, if we can mix them in. We'll see what happens here on this schedule preview. Way too early prediction show. It feels crazy even to do, but let's get right into it here in this first segment. I'll work my way through about half the schedule. We'll get our great sponsors in here. You guys know who they are. I'll tell you more about them later. Always helps when you support the show, share the show. Hit me up on Twitter at Derek Okery. That's spelled D-E-R-E-K. The only way you can do it. And then O-K-R-I-E. Always talking Lions, Michigan football, fantasy football. Again, shout out to everybody that did the Detroit Koolaid Cast Fantasy League. 20 teams, 20 players per team. Slow draft. We've been doing it throughout our busyness and our lives, but I know a lot of people hit me up and said, man, it was so fun. Like, just love doing a draft, love picking players, love putting a team together. And man, there were some very unique strategies, selections, team building scenarios in that draft. So lots of good stuff went down. Appreciate all you, and should be fun to see who comes out on top. As long as I beat at Chops in the D, which I look, yes, as we play like week 12, somewhere in that range. Yes, I'm projected to beat him. Yes, I looked ahead, because that brings me ultimate joy to beat Chops in fantasy football. But Choppy Chop will be back. As of now, he's still tending to work and family and sports and housing and who knows what else the man's got going on. But I said, let me just take the pod. Let me do some things here solo. I think he's going to even sub in for a few solo hashtag what Choppy said shows here in a bit. And let me get away, because I got some things rolling right now as well. But is this like the third time I've said we can't mess around? Let me get to this schedule, which I have in my hand right here. I'll try to, I think it was like a week or two ago, I was messing around with some papers, and you guys heard that on the mic. I did even change up my mic, because I had like some bass and some who knows what else I had set up. I took some of that off because I want to sound a little more crispy clean. So hopefully that's the case here on the show today. But appreciate you guys listening to the Detroit Koolaid Cast. All right, let's get into it. Preseason. No one cares about preseason. Preseason football is still garbage. Thank goodness they gave us 3 games rather than 4. The Lions actually only have 1 home preseason game this year, and it's actually against the Pittsburgh Steelers, so that's kind of a fun little matchup. But the Lions, I think, again, the dates just came out. The thing I have in front of me is TBD. Not my gimmick line, TBD if you ask me, but we'll see. I hope he plays well. But this just says TBD, to be determined, and go to the New York Giants. That'll be a beat down. We'll take them to school, I'm sure, unless like Dan Campbell takes a very ho-hum approach to the preseason, which I would not expect. Definitely a better team than the Giants, even though here's a hot take. I do think Daniel Jones will have a little bit of a bounce back year, and I like some of the weapons on that team, and they've added some defenders as well. So they could be better. They could be a surprise. Then we go to at Kansas City, the Super Bowl champs, the team that the Lions took down game 1 last year when they were Super Bowl champs in their house. We go to their house for preseason, so who knows? I mean, that might be an L, but again, no one cares about preseason. Keep your guys healthy. Play the Hendon Hookers, the Gio Manus, the Jack Campbells, the Rodrigo. That was the live version, by the way. Hold on, let me get you that sound drop real quick. Wait for it.
Rodrigo.
That was the sound drop. Here's the live version again. Rodrigo. Here's the sound drop.
Rodrigo.
Why I do that, I don't know, but to me it's funny, and I think some of you other out there laugh as well. So we keep it going. It's one of the many Kool-Aid gimmicks here on the show. Just other players like that. Obviously, you'll get some of the rookies some time. Get those guys that are in the middle of the roster, as well as some of your starters that you do want to get better reps. You can't put these guys in bubble wrap. So I like to see them out there, and then they close out against the Pittsburgh Steelers at Ford Field, as I said earlier. So again, stay healthy, be ready to roll, because week 1, Sunday, September 8th, the Lions play the Los Angeles Rams in prime time on Sunday Night Football at 8:20 p.m. Now, I didn't want this game. I was hearing lots of rumor innuendo. This was going to be the game. I really didn't want it. We already took them down to end last year. I really don't want them coming back to start the season. I also don't want the Matt Stafford tribute. And I'm not going to go on a huge rant because it doesn't necessarily call for it, but what I do want to say is that everyone for the most part, excluding at Chops in the D, pretty much like Matt Stafford when he was here. Slung the ball around, did some good things for the cities, never, always said the right thing, even though sometimes it was a little bit phony. He always lost because he either didn't have enough talent or he turned the ball over too much or he couldn't win games by himself, whatever it was. Wished him well when he moved on, liked the trade in general. I really like the trade now. Matt Stafford went on to win a Super Bowl. The Lions are obviously rolling with a great young team, ready to go. He comes in here last year for the playoff game, tries to say all the right things, and then tries to be Mr. Machismo, saying, oh yeah, bring those boots, yeah, let's go, let's do this bleep. And got beat up by Hutch and company.
Unleash Hutch.
Yeah, that's what we did, all over number 9, the old number 9. Beat him up, hurt him. Took it to him, beat his team. Don't give me this, Sean McVay made the wrong call. This could have happened, that could have happened. Me and Chops were there, along with all of our other loyal, diehard Kool-Aid drinkers, going absolutely crazy. Probably the best sporting event I've ever been to in person. Just absolutely insane. We took it to him. So with all that said, I'm to the point we don't need a Matt Stafford tribute right now. He's coming in here. He wants to get this win back. It's on prime time. We want to get our first dub of the season. They probably are going to do a video. They're probably going to do that little pause, especially with it being prime time. They'll want to get that on video. But I think this game's going to be way too hype for a applaud our old quarterback moment. So I don't want that. This whole schedule was tough. I got like some W's and some L's next to everything, but I do have some question marks, and this is one I have a question mark for. Of course, you want the Lions to win the opening game. I do think this is a hard opponent. The Rams are loaded up with offensive talent. They also have a burr under their saddle to come in here and get one. The first game's always a little tricky because you haven't played game speed. You're not in your groove yet. But with all that said, I got this as a Dubski for the Lions. Putting Matt Stafford in the ground again. Of course, I'd love to see a beatdown where we run him out of town by multiple touchdowns and embarrass the boy genius, their head coach. But it's probably going to be another close football game within a 3 to 7 point spread. But yeah, let's not do that tribute. Not this year. Once he's done playing, Kelly and her kids calm back down. Maybe we can make that happen at some point. In week 2, I got to keep this thing rolling. Excuse me. Week 2, Sunday, September 15th, the Tampa Bay Bucks and Baker Mayfield coming here. It's been a running gimmick on the show. At times we play the drop. At other times we just say the name. That's actually what spurred on many of the ways that we say things here on this show. When I went crazy with Baker Mayfield back in the day, I think I did have him as my top 1, 2, maybe 3rd fantasy quarterback at some point. But he almost washed out of the league. He came back really good last year. They're pretty talented on offense. Added some defenders that I like. So another pretty talented team. Not necessarily the toughest team. Todd Bowles has always been kind of a nerd as a head coach, even though people act like he's this defensive savage. He is what he is at this point, and I don't know. I feel like this is another game the Lions can get a W in to go 2-0. I think this will be a raucous home crowd. Again, 2 home games in a row to start the season. Me and Chops are planning to be at this one against Tampa Bay, mostly for the tailgate because it's going to be mid-September. Going to be great weather. Great time to fire up the grill. Serve up that Detroit Koolaid and cornbread to the people. Walk around downtown Detroit, have a great time, and enjoy things that way. So, that is our game plan to be there. And if all goes well, that is not only the plan, but the expectation is get another Dubski and be 2-0 heading into the season. Week 3 against the Arizona Cardinals. Heading out to Arizona. I know this is a running gimmick for years that we always play the Arizona Cardinals in the Big Toaster in Arizona. I still don't understand why we play at Dallas every year either, which we'll get to in a bit. But this is a big time win. I mean, go out. We're going to knock around the little mayor of Munchkin Land there, the little quarterback they have that can't ride the amusement park rides. Oh, but we got Marvin Harrison. Oh, but look at our defense now. Oh, we're gonna sling the ball. Yeah, okay, you're gonna do all that, and you're still gonna lose by at least 2 touchdowns, I'd say, in this game. This one doesn't scare me at all. This was very easy to put a dub in that category. I don't care if it's road trip. I don't care if it's West Coast. Don't care. Put up a W for the Lions. And this is probably my favorite game on the schedule. I actually wanted to go to this one. We just not only couldn't work it out, but life is just crazy. Monday Night Football, September 30th. The Seattle Seahawks coming to Detroit. No, there will not be any, ski masks. There will not be any shenanigans. The Seattle Seahawks, I want to say, have beat the Lions, I think it's 6 times in a row. Maybe 6, 7, 8 out of 10, whatever it is. They have our number. They beat us at the buzzer. They beat us in shootouts. They beat us in overtime. They beat us on fluky games. And by the way, Geno Smith is their quarterback. So their luck's about to run out here on Monday night because this crowd is going to be absolutely insane. They're going to be going crazy. This is going to be an offensive show by the Lions, a defensive smacky in the mouth game. Yes, I like McDonald, the coach of Seattle. Yes, they usually draft big, nasty football players that I like. Yes, they have a run game. Sure, you've always known that I love DK, Metcalf, but this is still a win for the Lions. Probably in a pretty much of a dogfight, but give me like a 4-point dub, a field goal at the end, a touchdown winning play late, and then we hold on, that type of game. So 4-0 for the Lions, and we're heading into the bye week. Yes, the NFL hates us. We did them a whole bunch of favors with our hard knocks, with the draft, with everything we've done for the National Football League, yet they continue year after year to not throw us a bone and give us a week 4. It used to be week 4, 5, 6, whatever it was the earliest bye. Now it's week 5, and sure enough, the Lions get week 5 bye. A bye week in week 5 again. I mean, absolutely ridiculous on so many levels. Just makes no sense. Again, it's random. Rod Wood said he wasn't happy, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. Come on, man. We cannot, every 4 out of 8 years or 6 out of 9, whatever it is, get the earliest bye possible when all the glory teams in the NFL get it right in the middle of the season, right at the end of the season, so they can ramp up for playoffs. It's obvious. It's as obvious as the frozen envelope is in the NBA draft. Yes, there is no probable way you can give me any analytics. We can go through the stats. We can do tutorials. We can run simulators. There is no way that the Detroit Pistons and the Detroit Red Wings can have the type of odds they've had the last few years and get the type of draft picks they've got, in case it's somewhat preordained and arranged, if you know what I'm saying. So, whatever. The Lions will take their bye week. And then here's another one I love. Sunday, October 13th, they come back against the Dallas Cowboys at Dallas. And again, I don't want to hear people whining about how we never get a break in Dallas. Something's going to go wrong. We're going to lose. No. My buddy Chuck the Magazine, if you're listening, he's a Cowboys honk. He always talks them up. They always underperform. They probably had the worst offseason in the National Football League. Dan Campbell is coming down to annihilate you. This is not a game that I'm going to say, it's going to be close. The refs might take it. This is a straight up, we're coming to not only get this win, we're coming to embarrass the Cowboys. I'm putting this as like a 20-point win for the Lions, leaving no doubt in this ball game. So that puts the Lions, in case you're not keeping track, 5-0 with the bye week mixed in. We go to week 7, Sunday, October 20th at Minnesota. Again, as I went through this, I was kind of going, I may just put a W for every single freaking game because this team is so ready to go. It's so talented. but I did put an L here. I'm not necessarily scared of Minnesota. I'm somewhat rooting for J.J. McCarthy, but Sam Darnold still may be playing at this point. I would assume Justin Jefferson is back by this point, playing and balling out. I like the Minnesota crowd. They're pretty, raucous at their stadium, beautiful stadium, pretty good people out there. So I kind of gave the Vikings a token victory because I just couldn't keep stacking dubs throughout the schedule. And this is kind of where it gets fun and dicey, to be honest. And these were all first impressions off the top of my head. So again, maybe a close game in Minnesota. Obviously, we're not going to get blown out there, but I did put an L down. Of course, you could flip that because if Minnesota proves not to be very good and JJ's not rolling, they could lose a good amount of football games this year. We'll see. But here's another dub out of all dubs. Game 7, Week 8, Sunday, September 27th, 1 p.m., when football should be played in the NFL. We welcome the Tennessee Titans. This is another smackdown. This is another absolute beatdown because the Tennessee Titans have a new coach who's trying to, we're going to add these skill guys. We're going to throw it around. Will Levis. Maybe we'll add a big offensive tackle, but make him play a position he's never played before. Like, this is a team that in a couple years might be better, but I'm not buying into this Will Levis hype. He had a couple good games. He's a physical, emotional type quarterback that most of the time is going to get just annihilated because he can't make quick enough decisions, and it doesn't matter how big your arm is when you can't process and you also are just getting blown up by the other team because you hold the football too long. So this is a beat down in Ford Field. This is probably like a 10-point game. Another win for the Lions. Let's see here. Let's do one more for our commercial break. Week 9. This is Sunday, November 3rd, at the Cheddarheads, at the Mozzarella Sticks. 4:25, national TV. Again, how many dubs can I put up? Okay, I like the Packers team overall, okay? I said it. Jordan Love is pretty fun to watch throw the football. Is he great? Is he terrible? I'm not totally sure yet. I think he's better. He's closer to good or great than he is to terrible, but he's going to have to prove it again. I'll go ahead and give the Gargonzola Cheese fans a win here in their home stadium, a loss for the Lions. So far, we got 2 L's and a bunch of dubs and a bye week, everybody. Please listen to our great sponsors, PFF All 22, Reality Sports Online, Spotify, all the millions and millions of great sponsors that you'll hear during our commercial breaks. It really helps out the show. What really helps is if you leave a comment, if you share this on the old Twitter X machine, if you help us get the word out, because we really still do it old school. A couple tweets here and there. We ask you for a couple things. Some of you are very generous and you donate to help us keep the show rolling, as well as do fantasy leagues with me and whatnot, which really is just totally awesome and keeps the show going and makes it worth it. So we love talking ball here on this show. But any of that stuff you do is tremendous. Just you listening and drinking that Detroit Koolaid is awesome.
Drink it in, man.
And when we come back, I'm looking at this. I got 17, 18, 7, 8, however many more weeks to go to get us to week 18 against Minnesota. Lots more dubs, maybe a couple more surprising L's, but lots of goodness for the Detroit Lions and the Detroit Kool-Aid drinkers. Everybody, we'll be right back. All right, everybody. This goes out to my fantasy football fans out there. Now, you probably heard about Reality Sports Online, the most powerful fantasy sports platform where owners can build and manage their fantasy team like a real NFL general manager. But the question is, have you tried it? We're talking free agency, multi-year contracts, rookie drafts, multi-team trades. You can put franchise tags on guys. It's as close as you're going to get to being an NFL GM. But do you think it sounds complicated? It's not. I'm here to tell you it's the best thing about Reality Sports Online is it's just more fun than your normal fantasy league, but it doesn't take barely any more time. After all this, are you still not sure? I mean, come on now. You can test your general manager skills by going over to Reality Sports Online, call it RSO. Please go check out realitysportsonline.com right now. Kool-Aid drinkers are back. Thank you so much for listening to those sponsors, sharing the show, repping us out. Big shout outs to everybody in the Detroit Koolaid Cast League, as I said earlier. Shout out Skip in the ATL. Our guy Stefan, aka Stash, in the ATL as well. You guys know who he is. I'm a run. And again, there's just so many to name that I never want to leave people out, but I just go through our list because I want to shout you guys out. I know you love hearing yourself on the show. What about hashtag Bo Knows, Bo DeFrisco, Young Santa? Shout out Big Tuna in a lot of my fantasy leagues. The one and only Frank Ribble.
Wow! 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 Wow!
I mean, there's just so many people I could name. I mostly got some of those out here quick because they've just been shouting us out, supporting the fantasy stuff we're doing, supporting the show, retweeting the show. Again, I need to do a better job of making these like massive lists, but I know part of you guys are like, Okri, get back to the schedule preview, get back to the crazy takes, the rants, the W's for the Lions. All right, I'll do it. So, I left off with a loss to the Mozzarella Sticks in Green Bay, and then the Lions travel to the Houston Texans, 8:20 Sunday Night Football, prime time. And, one thing I'm seeing is like, this always happens, and again, the Lions have been a proponent, a benefactor of this, is that you have like one good season, one little run, and people just anoint you as the greatest team ever. And that to me is what's happening with the Houston Texans. Like, CJ Stroud had like the greatest rookie season of an NFL quarterback of all time. Do I think that he is the greatest quarterback of all time and will continue to be? I mean, again, we have drops for this kind of stuff.
Nope.
Do I also know where CJ Stroud went to school? Of course I do.
Hey, listen, Ohio State sucks.
Do I think CJ Stroud will be vanquished like his team has been for not one, but two, but three seasons straight, and will continue to be when it comes to college football, the Michigan Wolverines and that team down south?
Ohio State is vanquished!
No, I don't think CJ Stroud is going to be vanquished. I think he's going to be very good. I love how he throws the football. Just absolute beautiful throws, right on the money. They have Stephon Diggs. They have my boy Tank Dell. They've got some tight ends, Dalton Schultz that I like, Brevin Jordan. They've got Nico Collins from Michigan. Good defense, defensive coach, young swaggy, kind of Dan Campbell-ish type coach with D'Amico Ryans down there. So I like their team a lot. I do think they're getting way too much pub, being like, oh, they're going to be in the Super Bowl. Yeah, I don't think so. I think they got lucky and they made a run to the playoffs last year. They're better, but this is a team I could see having some stumbles or maybe taking a step back or two when it comes to W's and L's. But with all that being said, and because I had to sort of even out the schedule at some degree, and it's in Houston, this will be my first back-to-back losses for the Lions. Another loss in a very close, entertaining football game in Houston to the Texans. In Week 11, The 10th game for the Lions, Sunday, November 17th. The Jaguars come to Detroit to play the Lions at 1 p.m. Again, I love the 1 p.m. kicks. It's on CBS. You know, the Jaguars, to me, I have no idea what they are. I like some of their players. They seem like a young, hungry team. They seem to be in the playoff mix quite a bit. But I look at them as kind of a bumbling, like, you know, just... I don't even know. I don't know what to put with them. They lost some pieces. They added some pieces. To me, they're just going to come into Detroit, and again, this feels like a perfect time to cue up my man Beetlejuice, because I just don't think they're tough enough.
They can't handle me. They ain't tough enough yet.
I don't think they're tough enough to come into the D and take on the Lions. I think that we're going to put them down to the knees, buddy.
I'll put him down to his knees, buddy.
I mean, thank you, Beetle. I think that's a great synopsis of the game. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. Again, the NFL is always close, but give me a 7 to 10 point win over the Jaguars, mostly because our home fans are incredible. We're off 2 L's, and this will probably just be a beatdown. Another game that I love, another game depending on how life and time and everything shakes out that I may be at. I would love to make a road trip Sunday, November 24th, at the Indianapolis Colts. Shout out my boy Luke, moving to Indy, taking an awesome job in Indy, being in Caitlin Clark country. I love the Colts football team. I like Chris Ballard as a GM. I like his picks. I like his moxie. I love my boy Anthony Richardson. And you guys know, if you play fantasy with me, I'm holding on that Jonathan Taylor's going to have a bounce back. I like their receiving core. Quentin Nelson's a big, nasty beast. Their defenders are pretty nasty at all 3 levels. So this is going to be a knockdown, drag-out fight, 1 p.m. on Fox. I would love to be in Lucas Oil Stadium for this game. Luke, if you could hook a brother up with some tickets, make a roadie out to see you and the fam, that would be incredible. Great game, fun game, big time atmosphere. A W for the Lions. I see it as a 4, 6, 7-ish type game going to the road squad here. Not a very tough place to play, if you ask me. Indy, indoors, nice people. So I like to give my team wins when they could go on the road in that type of atmosphere. You know, Thursday, November 28th, got the short week, got a 4-day, no practice, no nothing, but we got Chicago coming in for Thanksgiving. Yeah, that's a shot at you, at Joey Sports Guy. Everybody, I know you loved when Joey Christopoulos from, I don't even know where he's from. He used to be Believe Podcast Network. I think he's still there. He's doing big things for Big Ten Network. I want to say he moved from La La Land out in Cali to his hometown of Chicago now. He's doing big things, tremendous on the microphone. Me and him always had a lot of fun beating each other up, talking everything from Lions and his Bears to fantasy football to which pizza's better, that pie, that thing you have to eat with a knife and fork that they serve in Chicago, or that Detroit-style crispy crust deep dish pizza that we have here in Detroit. So, we will hope to have him back. I think that's going to be mid-June when Joey comes back on to talk all types of noise. We'll get his thoughts on that game. But this is when the Lions get right on Thanksgiving. This is a straight-up dub. This is maybe a 2-touchdown dub. This is a show off our offense, a bunch of turnovers from Caleb Williams in the Chicago Bears. Big time win on Thanksgiving. Send everybody home happy. Thursday, December 5th, home against the Packers. Yep, we get our win back. This is on Prime. This is 8:15 on a Thursday. So the Lions go Thursday on Thanksgiving. They get a full week afterwards. Play Thursday. They don't get that extended week. They don't get that 10 days. They don't get that half bye week. But they do get that full week. Again, Lions kind of getting stuck to by the NFL. They could have done us a favor there. But they give us another primetime game at night. Jordan Love and company coming into Detroit. Crowd's going to be going crazy. They came into our house and beat us last year in pretty embarrassing fashion. We plan to do the same in this football game. Give me a touchdown win for the Lions here. Putting them, I think that puts them at 10 dubs. You guys know when it was 16 games, my wins start at 10. Now that it's 17 regular season games, we start at 10, 11 wins. We work our way up, and that's exactly what we're doing in this schedule. So Sunday, December 15th, the Buffalo Bills come to Ford Field. So yes, that's Turkey Day. Thursday prime time. Then the Bills at 4:25 in a Sunday primetime game in Detroit. 3 home games in a row. And give me another dub. 3 dubs in a row. So, the Bills are somewhat fun to watch, but they lost a lot of offensive talent. They haven't added much that really excites me. I think they're going to kind of, I hate to say take a step back because I kind of been rooting for him last year. I do like Josh Allen as a player, and, the Buffalo fan base, you kind of loves them to get that, either the Super Bowl win or an appearance or a deeper playoff run, but they kind of just have fizzled out when they had good teams. Now they're trying to retool on the fly, and I don't think they've done very well at it. So I think they have good players. They don't have a great dominant team. They're going to be kind of in that playoff mix, but not as a top seed, as like wild card / lower on the totem pole. And I think the Lions are just going to take care of business. They're going to hold Josh Allen down. Yeah, he's going to get his rushing yards. Yeah, he's going to throw the football around, whatnot. But they're just going to do what they got to do. This is another close football game, but a nice win at home. That's 3 at home in a row. That's 2 other games, 1 on the road, 1 at home. That's 5 dubs since I gave them 2 losses in a row. Really rolling down the home stretch. Now, I don't even know why I did this. Sunday, December 22nd, sorry. Hopefully I've been saying December rather than November, but my eyes are playing tricks on me these last couple of days. But Sunday, December 22nd at Chicago. It's one of the only outdoor nasty weather type games. No dome, no whatever. Again, you hate for the Lions to be like this. Oh, we got to be indoors for Jared Goff and the weather and the double gloves when he's outside and the fumbles and the baby hand. We don't need to go back to all that. Don't even get me started on wobbly spirals and things. The Lions have a great schedule for the offense that they have right now and for Jared Goff. I feel that this one, because it's outside, because the Bears have the worst field surface in all of football, it'll be another slip and slide, nasty game, which, again, the Lions are much more equipped than the Bears to actually win a game like that, because the Bears think they're going to win in the NFC North with a California quarterback and Caleb Williams, a route-running finesse player in Keenan Allen, another West Coast finesse player in Rome Odunze. Okay, I get it. He blocks and he cares and he's tough, but he ain't tough enough when it comes to playing in the snow and the bad weather, things like that. So they just have a weird team. Swizzle back there, running back. No. They're not going to win many of those games, but for whatever reason, don't even ask me why, because this is ridiculous and blasphemous. I even did this in the words of Stephen A. Smith. I gave the Lions an L here, just because of the horrible surface, the bad weather, and because I had so many dubs. So, I could easily flip that one, but we'll just go with it for now. Monday, December 30th, the Lions travel out to San Francisco. ESPN, ABC, Monday Night Football game, 8:15 in San Fran. Again, we're coming to get our lick back. We beat your Rudy Poo candy ass last year in the NFC Championship game. I still can't believe you lost that football game. Up 17 going into the second half and you lose. That is just so many stupid things happen in that game. It's just ridiculous. So that isn't going to happen again. The Lions probably don't even need this game at this point. It probably pretty much got the NFC North wrapped, got their playoff seed, whatever. But Dan Freaky Campbell is going to go in there, and you know what he's going to want to do. You absolutely know what Dan Campbell's going to want to do in San Fran late in the season before they head to the playoffs just to prove a point.
We're going to bite a kneecap off. We're going to smile at you. We're going to take your other kneecap. We're going to smile at you. And when we do, we're going to take another hunk out of you. We're going to be the last one standing. All right? That's going to be the mentality.
Exactly, Dan Campbell. So this is a win. I'd love this one to be a little bit of a show-me game, too. Like, beat them by 7, beat them by 10, beat them by 14. Hell, beat them by 17. Just like you should have last year if you would have got yourself together in the second half and you could have cruised to a nice W and been in the Super Bowl and probably won the Super Bowl. Let's be totally honest with the team they had and how we had already taken care of the Chiefs. We would have had a lot more moxie than the Chiefs. And as long as Patrick Mahomes didn't go Magic Man on the Lions are holding the Super Bowl trophy last year. Will they do it this year? Yes. We talked about that. We'll talk about it more. But to finish out the season, again, the Lions put all their guys in sweats and hats here in Week 18 against the Minnesota Vikings. We're NFC North champions again. We probably have the number 1 seed in the NFC. We have a bye week, and we have another bye week here because we sit all our studs. We play Minnesota. Yes, we give the Vikings a token dub. Of course, we'd still love to win it with our backups, which is more than possible. Us losing twice to the Vikings is kind of impossible, but for whatever reason, I have that on my schedule here. So if I have the math right, that's 12-5. I'm looking at it. It could have been 10-7, 11-6 when I started this whole thing. 12-5, I fell in the middle, or it could easily be 14-3. 15-2. I've seen some of you out there saying, are the Lions going to even lose a game this year? I mean, we're hyped about our team, but it is the NFL. Every game is close, and everybody takes an L or two. But, man, it would sure be fun if they were just stacking up dubs. Start the season, middle of the season, towards the end of the season. That would be really fun. But I gave them a cautious but an optimistic 12-5 division title, number 1 seed. Yes, they may need to get a 13 or 14 to really have that 1 seed and bye week. If that's obtainable, I think Dan freaking Campbell and company will push for that this year because you aren't winning in Detroit if you're an opposing team in the playoffs. I'm here to tell you right now. If they have home field throughout, they're coasting right to the Super Bowl, and then I don't care who we play in the Super Bowl. When the Lions get to the Super Bowl, they will win the Super Bowl. They will hoist the trophy. None of this, oh, well, we got there, maybe next season. No. They will win it if and when they get there. I expect all that to happen either this year or next year. Mark it down. Mark it, as hashtag Chops in the D says. Hashtag mark it. But, this is a fun schedule. This is a nice schedule. This is a lot of primetime games, lots of Dubskis, lots of Kool-Aid, lots of cornbread, and I'm sure a million things will change before we get to the season. But that's what I got for the way too early schedule predictions here in the middle of May. Everybody, that's what I got. I'm all tapped out. I'll catch you next time, right here on the Detroit Koolaid Cast. Take care, everybody. I'm out.
Yeah, that's right. I think.
Who is this Rudy Poo?
Starts with me.
That's terrible.
Woo! Hashtag choppy liking.
Did this big jabroni say,
Woo! Hashtag choppy liking.
Touchdown, Detroit Lions!
Drink it in, man.
know your role and shut your mouth because the people's champ is ready to talk?
Cornbread! Cornbread! The king in the north! The king in the north! Brother.
That is incredible.
Woo!
Unleash Hutch.
Unleash Hutch. I'm ready to unleash Hutch.
Wow. 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 Wow.
Wow! Wow!
want your boola boola support when it comes to Jared Goff. You don't get to join the Goff train. You're off, bro. You're off.
Just give me that Kool-Aid.
Houston, we have a problem.
You know why? Because I'm not a Kool-Aid drinker.
Okay, Kool-Aid drinker and, you know, cornbread muffin and all that.
In the year 3000. Touchdown, 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 Detroit Lions. It's not unusual to be loved.
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Ben Johnson, I love you. Ben Johnson, you are my hero.
What the hell are you doing?
Try, please.
Please.
Playoffs? Playoffs? Playoffs?
We talking about practice. Not a game, not a game. We talking about practice. Practice, man. I mean, how silly is that?
That drives me freaking bonkers.
It was a bad decision. Period, point blank. It was one of the dumbest decisions I ever made.
Yeah! Yeah! I want winners. I want people that want to win.
I don't hate him. I don't. If you smell what the Rock is cooking. Drink it in, drink it in, drink it in, man.
Cornbread, cornbread. Pack the bag, start the plane. This game is over. It is over. What a comeback by the Lions.
Drink it in, man.